Okay, I'm remembering some more things about Gary Yourofsky. Um, okay, so he was arrested. He liberated um, he liberated some mink from this fur farm. That's another thing he was descriptive about with the fur industry, which is it's insane that people are still buying fur. We're not cavemen. There's no reason why we need to buy fur. There's no reason why any animal needs to die for their fur in this modern age. It's 2021. There is no reason why people should be wearing fur. We're not cavemen anymore. So there is no reason why these animals need to die for their skin, their hair. It no reason. It should not be happening ever. And Gary is descriptive in how these animals are treated in the fur industry. I believe he mentions how fox, which are beautiful animals, which is part of the reason why they're being murdered for their fur. He describes in their slaughter with fox, uh, anally electrocuted for their fur. Think about that. Who out there would be okay with anal electrocution? Think about that. Put yourself in the animal's position. If it's not okay for you, why is it okay for the animal to be anally electrocuted? That's horrible. And then with the mink, Gary mentions how they take the mink and they put them on their knee and they break their neck. Nobody would want that. This is all for fur. Horrible. So Gary Yourofsky, he got arrested because he broke into a mink farm and he freed a lot of mink from the cages. So yeah, he got arrested for that, and he was locked up with uh, some people who committed some very serious crimes, and Gary mentions in the video how the inmates in the prison with him were surprised or confused, like why are you in here with us? And in the prison there, uh, on the TV in the prison, the inmates saw that Gary was referred to. So this happened in Canada. Gary was referred to on the news while he was after he was arrested as an international terrorist. So he was from Michigan. He crossed from Michigan to Canada, and he was referred to as an international terrorist. He's global just from crossing the United States border from Michigan to Canada. He's international and terrorist for freeing some mink. And so Gary uh, makes the point of, well, what else are they going to call me? Because of the way the world is. The world is insane. And in the eyes of the businesses that support the cruelty that goes on, from their perspective, Gary, who wants to free the animals from the animal agriculture industry, from their perspective, he's a terrorist. He just wants to stop cruelty. So by wanting to stop cruelty, you're a terrorist. So it's about perspective there. So, but Gary explains how uh, the reason why he was locked up with the other inmates who committed very serious, uh, possibly violent crimes. Uh, the reason why he was with them in that prison was because of all the money in damages, the lost money from the mink farm that went out of business, all the money lost. So it was because of all the money that was lost. That's why he was locked in with the other inmates who committed potentially violent crimes. Which is interesting. That's what's most important in the world, money. Yeah, I think he says how bail he couldn't get bail at first when he compared it to someone else who committed a violent act, how they got bail. But Gary, who only freed some mink, couldn't get bail at first, which was a good point that his lawyer made to the judge, but the judge didn't want to hear it at first. So I think it was he got $10,000 bail. Um, well, I think I covered most of what I wanted to say about Gary Yourofsky. There's one other thing I wanted to say, which is mostly a personal story for me. Um, I don't think there was anything else, but it was a pretty significant personal experience for me, and it made me want to contact Gary Yourofsky. Uh, so he's got this website, Adapt, and where you can contact Gary Yourofsky. So I sent him an email because I was concerned about something. Because I felt like he's like a celebrity or busy or whatever. I probably wasn't expecting a response. but he responded, which was nice because people would probably think he's probably too busy, or maybe he gets too many questions or too many like emails, and maybe uh, wouldn't have time, or maybe they would think, oh, he's not going to work. He's not going to be concerned about my problem. He's too busy with other things. But he made the time to respond to my email message. So yeah, he's like a celebrity. So it was kind of like getting a response from a celebrity, like an actor or politician or something, like somebody well known. Because for me, he was like a well known person on YouTube. So for my personal story that led to the question, uh, in the email message directed to Gary Yourofsky, my personal story is related to my diet and how I made myself sick. I wasn't sure. I was kind of hesitant about talking about this because it's personal, and it's not easy to talk about. But it feels like a good time to bring it up in a video because I contacted Gary Yourofsky about it. But it's difficult to talk about because it's kind of gross. So I'm in more than one way. But I'll just say what I want to say, and I won't say too more than I want to say. How about? Okay, so for me, eating animals, like I stopped eating animal products because I thought it was disgusting to eat animal products. So when I became aware of the possibility uh, or the fact that some of the foods that humans are consuming have bugs in them. So I found that very, very disturbing. But I suppose it makes sense that this occurs because foods for human consumption are produced on a mass scale. So I suppose it's difficult to ensure uh, that all the bugs are removed, or that bugs are not. It's too difficult because it's such a mass scale to ensure that bugs are not in the food.